Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what is happening? Happy Tuesday, October 25th. I'm joining you on a rare Tuesday. Our fearless co-leader Ed is got some stuff going on tonight. Hopes to be back on Thursday. Hope everybody is doing well out there in the world. This is it, guys. This is it. The election is next week, or 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks. What we do this week will make all the difference for your student loans. If you're new to the group, welcome. Glad you found us. We are studentloanjustice.org. We've been around for 17 and a half years now, fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. We've done a lot of things. The most important thing that I will tell you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is having done this for 17 and a half years, I can tell you that unless and until we get the leverage of bankruptcy returned to student loans, we are going to be screwed. The loans will be turned back on January. If we don't have our bankruptcy leverage back in place, we will be like lambs to the slaughter, like turkeys at the Thanksgiving dinner. The student loan collection company is drooling. They're drooling. They're sharpening their knives, thinking about what they're going to do to get money from us come January 1st, when the loans are turned back on. And regardless of this nonsensical Biden cancellation, which was lame and feckless from the get-go, that's a very irrelevant loan cancellation. Whether it happens or not, I don't care. It's not important because that's how lame it is. Unless and until we get the leverage of bankruptcy rights back, guys, we're going to be screwed. So, and don't despair. We have two great bills right now to fight for. S-2598 in the Senate, HR 9110 in the House. It would behoove the Democrats, if they don't want to be absolutely massacred in 2 weeks on November 8th, it would behoove the Democrats to pass this legislation. The Democrats promised to return bankruptcy to student loans in the DNC platform. The Democrats, like back in 2008, now have control of the House and the Senate and the presidency. These bills, unlike the Affordable Care Act way back in the day, have bipartisan support. This legislation could be passed tomorrow. So the only question is, are the Democrats going to betray us or not? That is the question. You know, we've been fighting this battle for many, many years, guys, and the core of it is bankruptcy. Whether you would ever or never file does not matter. Very few people will have to file, maybe no one. We've got to get the threat returned. If you have any questions or comments on Facebook or Twitter, go ahead and throw them out, and I'm happy to respond to them. But we are running out of time, guys. That song I desperately tried to play, Time by Pink Floyd. Time is running out, guys. We have very little time. Look at the kitty. Look at that. So cute. What happens, guys, in the next 2 weeks is going to mean everything for your student loans. Unless you have less than $20,000 and you think you're going to get that loan cancellation, you should really freaking care what happens with S-2598 and HR 9110 between now and November 8th. After November 8th, if the Democrats betray us, I don't know, guys. We still have technically till the end of the year, but if ever the Democrats were going to do something for us, now would be the time. The election hangs in the balance for them. And we are the largest untethered voting bloc in U.S. history. So after the election, guys, I don't know. All bets are off. It's going to be very, very, very fucking difficult. Like far more difficult than it is today. While we have politicians supposedly fighting for our vote, supposedly. So I don't know what else to tell you except that if your student loans are important to you, this is an extraordinarily rare window of opportunity that we all have right now here tonight to push this legislation. After the election, certainly after this year is over, we're screwed for who knows how many more years. Who knows? Maybe forever, maybe the rest of your life. I don't know. We haven't had this chance since 2008, as I alluded to a minute ago. Who knows? Will it be another 12 years before we get this final opportunity? Finally get this opportunity again? Will it be 12 years? Will it be 15? Will it be 20 years? I don't know. I don't know, guys. All I know is that if student loans are important to you at all, you should be helping us fight. Because right now, the one thing that we're missing are more people fighting this fight. And it gets aggravating sometimes. I get up here 4 nights a week. Ed gets up here 2-3 times a week. We do this work over and over, all day, every day. I live and breathe this stuff. I wake up, I think about how to win the student loan battle. And the one thing that we're missing are normal people fighting for themselves. This is how a nation is ruined. This is how a nation is conquered and enslaved. She's in her bio, it mentions specifically that she's, don't know what that is. I'm looking for the live stream here, guys. So the least that you can do right now, are our daily actions. If you want to help, if you've never done a daily action, you should do at least 2 weeks worth. Everything depends on this, on bankruptcy, guys. And this group is the only group in the country of any significant size fighting for bankruptcy. So either we're going to get this done or we're not. You can't unhear that. We're the veterans. We're the pioneers. Why the other stupid, mostly fake groups on Facebook claiming to be fighting for student loan borrowers? Why are they quiet on bankruptcy? I don't know. That's a great question. It's frankly suspicious, but I don't care. All I know is that they're not. The reality is that they're not. They ought to be ashamed of themselves, but I digress. It's up to us, guys. We're all we've got. And, with over 1 million people on our group, frankly, really, we're all that we need. We've got everything that we need to win this battle. The only question is, are you sitting there going to fight? Now, to all the people on this group who have been fighting, I salute you. This is where it's at, and you all have a lot to be proud of. We've come this far. We've gone from nothing, schlepping around Iowa 2.5, 3 years ago, to, at least on paper, having achieved some kind of albeit feckless, lame cancellation. But we've got great legislation to fight for right now. And that's because of you. That's because of all the people out there who have been doing the work. And it's not really even hard work. It's just work. So to you, I salute you. And you know that I do. To everybody else, either fish or cut bait. It's time for you to fight. And if you're not going to fight, then you should leave. This is a working, fighting group. You can't unhear that. We're not here for your entertainment. It's not a tennis match. We're here to fight. And you should be fighting for yourself, because nobody else is going to fight your battle for you. It's the most important thing we've learned over nearly 18 years of doing this. So I'm looking for your comments now. It looks like we got cut off in the first part of the comment, first part of the live stream. Don't know what happened with that. Hey, Joanna Kearns is with us tonight. Hey, Joanna, Florida. Hey, Jackie Abram, the Twitter master. Jackie, how are you? Good to see you. I'm still not seeing my live stream pop up. I'm not sure what's going on here, guys. We had a little hiccup, a technical glitch earlier, but maybe I should just cut it short tonight and hope that this live stream makes it out to the internet. I will only say, guys, there has never been a more important time in your financial livelihood than this next week Either you're going to do our daily actions, go to the website, studentloanjustice.org, studentloanjustice.org, go to the daily actions. Either you're going to do that, or you have no excuse if we are buried. If we fail, if the Democrats betray us, frankly, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Don't be that guy. You don't want to be looking back 5 years from now saying, why did I not get off my stupid, lazy ass 5 years ago when I had the chance? You don't want to be that person, guys. Our live streams are easy. They take 2 minutes, not even that. They take a minute. You got to have Twitter, usually, mostly. Do our live streams. You will regret it if you don't be that guy. You don't want to be looking back 5 years from now saying, why? Hey, Doug Grossman, don't know what else we can do except more daily actions. I'm worried. There's a lot you can do. You can contact the media. You can do your own stuff. You can go find your own senators, Mike Brown in Indiana, and who's the other guy? Anyways. Get in their grill, Doug. The state of Indiana is being absolutely wrecked by student loan debt. People of Indiana owe more in student loan debt than the entire state budget. The state of Indiana is being conquered and enslaved. And by the way, go to our Medium page and you can throw a bunch of very strong articles in their faces. Like the fact that older people outnumber younger people with student loans. Little known fact, but an unreported fact, but yes, it is indeed a fact. Go to our Medium thing and look at our articles. We publish our research at Medium. We have broken some of the biggest news in higher education over the past 17 and a half years, including stuff on 60 Minutes, in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, you name it. Look at our most recent 7 articles and just look at the headlines. Some of those headlines will blow you away, stuff that nobody knows. Like the fact that most student loan borrowers are either Republican or independent. Like, I know I'm talking about the Democrats tonight, and they matter more right now because they control the House and the Senate and the presidency. But what the F are the Republicans doing? Like, they're just unabashedly trying to sabotage us, like in plain sight. If there's ever a way to pluck defeat from the jaws of victory this November, the Republicans are doing a heck of a job. So I don't know what's going on with the Republicans. Shame on the Republicans, but it's all kinds of things that you can do, Doug. Doug, so you guys know, is one of our most fearless and stalwart members in our entire organization. He takes a backseat to no one. And so I salute you, Doug. Now, everybody else out there wondering what you can do, the minimum that you can do is our daily actions. But, be clever and creative. You can call your local news station and tell them strongly to report on S2598, HR 9110. You can call your senators on the phone. In fact, I don't know which is more important right now, the Senate or the House. We need to get more sitting members of Congress fighting for these bills. I mean, that is where this problem is solved, guys. So picking up the phone and calling maybe even your local House Reps office or your local Senate office and getting these people in a conversation. If they're Democrats, say, look, you people promised to return bankruptcy student loans. What are you doing? Do I need to vote Republican? Is that what we have to do here? So, we're a fiercely nonpartisan group. We pretty much hate both parties in different ways, but I don't know who I hate worse. The Democrats who pretend to be fighting for us, and then when the critical time comes, where are they? Or the Republicans. At least they're honest about screwing us. They're not trying to hide it. At this point, the only guidance that we have for people is withhold your vote. Withhold your vote. Don't vote until and unless it's clear whether the Democrats are going to pass S2598 or HR 911 before the election. If they don't, then I certainly can't in good conscience tell anybody to vote for either party. You know, I certainly will not vote for either party if November 8th rolls around and they haven't returned bankruptcies and Democrats haven't returned bankruptcy student loans. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a 12th hour surge from the Republicans in the Congress. And in that case, I will very happily endorse the Republicans. Maybe the first thing I should have said is we as an organization will very happily endorse the Democratic Party the moment that they return bankruptcy to student loans, and not a moment before. You know, we're getting a lot of blowback on Twitter, other places, people saying, how could you? No, vote for Democrats. Look how evil the Republicans are. Vote for Democrats. They'll deliver. And first of all, deliver? The Democrats will deliver? This was last election. We voted for the Democrats last election in the expectation that they would deliver. And the minimum that they were supposed to deliver was bankruptcy protections to student loans. We didn't get that. We haven't gotten that yet. We've got a lot of promises. We've got a lot of hot air. We've got bills, but we don't have a passed law that's signed by the president. So don't try to run that game on me. I've been playing this game for a little too long, and you're not going to scare me with this bullshit, blue no matter who nonsense. Ain't going to work. The bottom line is the Democrats can do what they said they were going to do tomorrow, and either they do or they don't. And to all you diehard Democrats out there, if you really want the Democrats to win this election, then you should be pushing the Democrats to do what they said they were going to do. Because regardless of what my thoughts and opinions, whatever I might think, is inconsequential by and large. This isn't about me. This is about the country. This is about 38 million people who are losing sleep over their loans tonight. Most of them are either Republican or independent. So it's a 50-50 split between Democrats and Republicans and independents. A few more Republicans and independents, but it's about them. And no matter what some DNC operative might say on Twitter, the fact of the matter is, if the Democrats don't do what they said they were going to do and return this floor of fairness to the lending system, none of those 38 million distressed voters are going to be jacked to bounce out of bed on morning of November 8th and rush out to vote for a Democrat. Ain't going to happen. Is not going to happen. So this all depends on the Democrats. It kind of really doesn't even depend on me. I mean, certainly as a group, we can move this mountain. We can make it happen even before November 8th. I say that tonight. I don't think that will be true by, say, Monday next week. I think it will be probably too late, although we've seen Congress act with lightning fast abandon in the past, but we certainly can't count on that. It all depends on the Democrats, guys. Either they're going to do what they said they were going to do, or they're going to betray us, and they absolutely will be crushed in these midterms. You know, when Joe Biden announced his student loan cancellation, within 10 days, the Democrats sprang ahead of the Republicans in polling. And I assume pretty fair, generic congressional polling, if you look at 538.com. They sprang ahead by 2 full percentage points in the 10 days after Biden's student loan cancellation. Well, that lead has now evaporated. It's back to a tie. In fact, the Republicans were ahead by a few tenths of a percent the last that I checked. So obviously that student loan cancellation isn't blowing the wind up many people's skirts. People are still losing sleep over their loans, particularly the people who've been hurt worst by these loans, have the highest balances. People who have seen their original loans for, tens of thousands explode to hundreds of thousands. Those people are not impressed. And I think most people out there in the country with student loans, in fact, everybody, viscerally feels the predatory weight of this monster on their backs. And having the floor of fairness, the leverage that bankruptcy is, that the founding fathers called for, have many other powers, including the power to declare war and raise an army in the Constitution, will greatly buoy their spirits. We need the confidence to go forward, knowing that we have the full protection of the U.S. Constitution, equal protection under the law, just like all other citizens have who don't have student loans. We need to know that we have that, and returning standard bankruptcy protection to student loans will achieve that. Will it cause the Democrats to win the midterms and retain power? I don't know. I mean, 38 million distressed voters. That's a huge number of people in a typical midterm election. I don't think more than 40 or 45 million people vote at all, period. Like in a presidential election, usually, it's more than that. Usually in a presidential election, maybe 120 million people vote. In a midterm, it's much less than that. It's like 70 or 80 million, 80, 90, somewhere in there. Half of those people being distressed student loan borrowers, I think would decide most races. So all I know, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Democrats owe us. The Democrats can deliver on their promise right now, today. And I also know that we're the largest untethered voting bloc in U.S. history. And I also know that the Democrats need to pull out some sort of a Hail Mary to get their asses out of the cellar in this upcoming election. So whatever your partisan beliefs are, you're very welcome on this group. As I said, we pretty much can't stand either party at this point. Anyways. But now is the time to be pushing. And what we do, what this group does over the next days and week will determine whether we succeed by the election or not. After the election, guys, I don't know. It's going to be more difficult. It could be much more difficult after the election. That's the reality. And I would like to get this done. And if you agree, then the first thing you should be doing, in fact, right as I'm speaking to you right now here today, you can go to our daily action page right there, and you can do our daily action. So if you ever needed to self-inspire, right now would be the time. If ever you were going to fight for your student loans, now would be the time. We've got quite a few more comments here. Let's see here. Jackie Abram says, yes, it's aggravating that people don't understand the battle. I know, Jackie. Welcome to my world. Don't believe the nonsense in the media, guys. Don't believe all the bullshit. Oh, will Biden cancel? Will he not cancel? Can he cancel? Are these lawsuits going to mean anything? The Department of Education has never intended or desired to cancel any loans, guys, and they don't still today. And in that lawsuit that we saw challenging the cancellation, the Department of Education does not want to cancel loans. So that lawsuit may as well be the Department of Education suing itself. This is the administrative state that we're up against. The one thing that the administrative state can't do shit about is a change in the law that returns bankruptcy protections to us. So that is the little subtlety that people aren't getting, apparently. When bankruptcy is returned, the world will open and it will be a panacea of good things happening. We will see probably widespread loan cancellation across the board, not this $10,000 or $20,000 bullshit. Meaningful, widespread, broad, deep cancellation. Maybe even total. I don't know. And maybe few people, maybe even no one will even have to file. But none of that is going to happen until we get bankruptcy returned. Whether you would ever file, few people should, very few people, maybe nobody will have to. Evelyn Lara Ferris says they didn't deliver. Let's not talk about it in the past tense, Evelyn. The election is upon us. It's not already passed. What we do in the next 2 weeks means everything. Hey, Vanjie Unruh says, I kind of figure I'm not very unique, but if I'm not voting until I get bankruptcy back, I bet 1 million other people are more not voting until they get bankruptcy back. I think it's more than that, Vanjie, honestly. I think with what we've seen from Biden, the 38 million distressed voters, maybe a third of them are like, all right, okay, well, I guess I'll vote Democrat then. And then half of them won't even vote. So what's that? That's like, 6 or 7 million people. But that leaves 30 million people that are like, meh, no. Why am I going to get off my couch and vote for a party that promised they were going to do these things and then they delivered not shit, and now they're asking us to vote for them again? No. That's like, no. You already dangled that carrot last time. Now it's time to pay the piper. So, hey, Doug says, with the fiasco with Mohila stealing our loans for applying for public service loan forgiveness, I swear I will not pay another cent. I must keep my promise when I burned my papers last summer on this site. Fuck this. I'm done. Pardon Doug's French. Well, Doug, you're not the only one, buddy. Most people are done. Even before the pandemic, 58% of everyone was not paying. That's nearly 2/3 of everyone were not making payments on their student loans before the pandemic. Come January 1st, they can try and turn the lending program back on. My best estimate is that initially maybe 25%, 1 out of 4 people will pay. And then within a couple of months, they're going to be like, oh, no, fuck that. No. I remember now why this wasn't working. I'm not doing this. And within, I'm going to say 4 to 5 months of them trying to turn back on the lending program, I'd be stunned if even 15% of the people are paying. So you're not alone, Doug. And in my humble opinion, nobody should ever feed another of their hard-earned dollars into this federal beast. The founding fathers are looking down on us, I'm sure of it, and they're shaking their heads. And they're saying, why did our citizens let themselves be conquered and enslaved and intimidated and cowed by this ridiculous debt trap? I don't know exactly what they'd say, but it'd be something like that. Founders are on our side. Founders, if they could come down and talk to us, they would say, what are you doing? Take your loan papers, burn them, throw the ashes in Boston Harbor, and they'd probably tell us to take up arms if we had to put down this tyranny. That's what I think they would say. Maybe you have your own opinions. I'll say no more than that. So, okay, guys, I think I've said enough tonight, but I think I made the point. And if you're watching this wondering, should I do the daily actions? You should do the daily actions. We need you. We've got a massive muscle to flex, but that only matters when you, sitting there, make this your fight, because it is your fight. And if you're not in it, you're losing it. If you're not in it, we're losing it. We need you. You have no idea how important you are. You cannot unhear that. So do the daily actions. Do more than the daily actions. And I'll be back tomorrow, guys. I don't know what else I can say. I think I've said it all for tonight. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night. Good luck. God bless. Godspeed. Let's do this, guys. Peace.